too in his speeches is he's hard on us as well. He was hard on us as well because he was telling us the whole time.
Right.
Why do you feel so comfortable being next to white folks? That's what he was saying. Does white proximity make you feel better about yourself?
Well, the peep game, man. You know, this is all gonna segue right into where we going with this, right? um, y'all heard me say this several times on our show, man. Assimilation is the biggest poison I think that was served to Black America. You know, the need to want to. This is what you just said. This is what the good brother El Haj was saying. Sit down next to these motherfuckers. This thirst you have to be included in their world. Like, you know what I mean? And like I step back, man, and I look at things, man, and I look at when we wasn't allowed to be included in their world. Not that I may directly experienced it completely, but I have had some experience with it. But when we weren't allowed to be included in their world, man, we just did so much better for ourselves. We had a whole fucking national anthem, man. You know what I'm saying? We you know lift every voice and sing, man. You know all that shit just faded. Now our children walk around here with fucking white people problems, man. You know, and it's some weird shit to me, man. But like, there is no more black and proud. I don't really see it. I mean, it's on different levels, but it's so like it's such an aloof position now to be black and proud to where it doesn't even really register anymore. You know what I'm saying? If that
I know
makes any
exactly.
sense.
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, it's like we want to be everything but.
It's in our children too, man. I was talking to my son, and he grew up different, of course. I was listening to Damon Wayans on on a comedy channel. He was talking about the differences between us and our sons. We grew up in the neighborhood. They grew up on the outskirts a little bit.
Right.
They they had the they grew up different because of how we did a little something or whatever. And just listening to his perspective without judgment, total it's just that proximity. That proximity makes them think different.
Not so much, because you know what? My son, I'm gonna give my son a shout out real quick. Money to focus. You know what I
Okay.
mean? Mar Mills, hit him up. Facebook, Instagram. He all over the place. Mar the Tat Skills, whatever name he under. But y'all know him. He's a social media guy. Y'all know him. But anyway, my point is he didn't grow up with that proximity.
My son did.
Right. So but the mindset ain't no different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I get like it's not as taboo for black and white to mix anymore or to hang out or be friends and all that. With us, it was still pretty taboo. Even though I got some white friends, you know what I mean? You know,
Now, hold on. Before you say that, there's a difference. I'm one of the people that I not saying that I'm gonna call you out, but I'm a question. What do you consider a friend? Is it really a friend or is it an associate? There's difference. There's a difference.
one of them is really a friend.
Okay.
He's really a friend. One of them is my man. You know, I'm Italian boy, but he's really is my guy.
Okay.
Um, he that's my guy.
All right.
That's my guy. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all break bread together?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
You ever came over your house?
Yep.
You ever went over his?
Yep.
You met his people?
Mother, brothers, aunts, uncles.
He met your people?
Yep.
See, these are the type of questions I ask to determine friendship. That's friendship.
Well, I mean, come on, bro. You know me like.
No, I'm just saying. A lot of people get that confused.
No, I understand what you're saying. You know what I mean? Right. Matter of fact, me and my daughter calls him Uncle Mark.
Okay, well, all right.
Me and my daughter was just at his crib. He just gave my daughter something for her birthday.
Gotcha.
You understand what I'm saying?
I'm
Some
tracking
of my day ones ain't even do that. You know
Okay.
what I mean? Not in the comparison type of thing, but my
Yeah.
man, he a good dude. You know what I mean? True. You know what I'm
All
saying?
right.
He's true. So know his wife, knew his mother, knew his father, his brothers, met a couple
Okay.
of his aunts, uncles, everything. Like I mean, good dude, man.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So but that's one. And you know I went to school with a lot of white people. That's one. You know what I mean? Now those racial divides ain't really what they used to be.
Depends on where you at.
I agree. I agree. Illinois can attest to that.
What's that?
Your son's homies.
Oh yeah, yeah. That situation is very interesting to say the least.
Yeah, we ain't gonna do no we ain't gonna do no name drop.
I feel you.
we just
This
gonna call
situ-
him. We just gonna call him BR.
this situation is very unique, yo.
Right. And but what I'm saying is they day ones though. You
Oh
understand what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah. My
They day
my, my
ones.
son, my
But
son has a couple friends
mhm.
that are white, so I get it.
But
I
see,
just saying I always ask those questions because
mhm.
there's a difference. There's a
Oh,
serious
big
difference.
difference.
I'm never
Bro,
gonna
you
call
are.
you a friend if you ain't never met none of my people. If you ain't never broke bread or nothing, you ain't my friend. We're associates.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? You know, so
That's my
or
guy.
colleagues, associates, colleagues, whatever we
And
want to call it.
ironically, I'll tell you the story, man. We met in high school.
Right, right.
You know what I'm saying? And he kept asking me, "Come to my house, man. Come to my house." I'm like, come on, man. Come to my house. You gotta come to my house, man. My mom wants to meet you. We went to his house. I walked in the door. Every one of his family members knew who the hell I was. Him
That's
and his
what's up.
dad was sitting in the kitchen. Italians. You can't go to an Italian house and not eat, bro. It ain't gonna
Right.
happen.
You're right. You're right.
You know what I mean? But
You're right.
he knew my diet even back in high school. I didn't eat certain things.
Right.
Man, him and his dad rifling through the damn refrigerator, cuz. And culture shock jumped in because you always hear about, how white parents and children interact, language, cursing and stuff like that. He ain't gonna eat that shit. Put that back in the fucking refrigerator. Da 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 da. Mother on the couch, both of you shut the fuck up. Just get him something to fuck to eat. I'm like, yo, this is how you talk to your parents.
Yeah, that's different, man. That's
It was
different, man.
it was a culture shock nonetheless, but true blue dude, man. Even like we went to play football down by the stadium. I'm the only black dude. No, me and Scan was there, man. What's Scan name? I think me and Scan was there. So we playing football and we busting their ass. So they get a little antsy. It was him and about three of his buddies, me, Scan, and we playing some other Italian dudes way down deep, deep, deep by the stadium.
Yeah, you in real territory right
Right.
there, man.
So, I make him move do something I want to do. He's like, "Ah, you fucking niggas." I'm like, "Oh, pause. The fuck is you talking to?" You know what I mean? And I'm ready. I'm gonna go. Then I'm like, "Yo, where you at, dumbass?" You know what I'm saying? So I turn around. And he like, "No, what the fuck did you call him?" Him and his boys ready to go to war with some other Italian motherfuckers with me or over me, not for me, but over me.
Yeah,
You know,
it's
it,
just
it don't get a lot
disrespect
of.
to your friend. Yeah, you
Yeah,
just
it don't
can't
get
disrespect
it
my
don't get too
friend.
much more true than that.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Same crazy ass Italian boy pulled up on me on 31st and Tasker, bro. Summer night, man. Everybody was out. You come ball assing down in this joint. Jump out. Boom. What's up? I'm like, well, you ain't got no fucking sense, man. You know where you are.
That's your homie. Right?
But that's my man. You know what I'm saying?
I feel
That
you.
but that allowed me to understand though, like, that stuff like that allows me to see past colors. You know what I mean? Of course, society is what it is.
Yeah.
Systemic
See,
is
that's the thing though. That's the thing that has to be understood by all. When when
agree.
we talk about things that are true, we're not talking about individual type shit. We're talking
Oh,
about
exactly.
systematic stuff. And
Exactly.
that's where it always gets twisted into some other narrative. I'm not talking about you specifically.
Right.
If I was even thinking about you specifically, we wouldn't even be talking.
Not for long.
You know what I mean? So
Be
what
some.
I'm saying is systematic type stuff that's in place
Yeah.
that
It's a,
that you got to understand.
mm-hmm.
So when you hear me talk about something like that, you got to understand it's not individual based, it's systematic based.
Right. And
You
that's
know, if
another
you
thing.
can't understand that, then we ain't much further we gonna go than surface. You know
Ain't
what
no
I
need
mean?
to. Shit, ain't
Yeah.
no fucking need to.
Yeah, if you can't understand that,
If you can't understand my plight, not even my personal plight. I'm
yeah,
talking about if
just
you can't
understand the
understand my
plight
plight
of
as a black man here. If you can't see it, yeah, then you and I have nothing in common. And I'm not
yeah,
saying you even have to cater to it. You know what I mean?
right.
But you do have to recognize and respect it. You dig what I'm saying? Because it's real, like you said. The shit is systematic, systemic, it's deep rooted. It's what built it's the fabric that built this damn country.
Exactly.
Scratch. It's the fabric that built the Western Hemisphere. You know what I mean? More accurately. So like, yeah, I feel you on that. You know what I mean? I'm glad we had a conversation last week too. Because
Yeah.
I don't know how y'all tried to rope me into that shit like I was gonna be the champion for white people.
Nobody said that. You the one said you came out with the preface.
No, well, I was speaking of systemic racism as we know it. Here is what I was speaking of. You know what I mean? And the French get no exclusion. Zero. You know what I mean? The Italians here, I was thinking like, they haven't really done a lot of pestilence to us here. But as we're about to take this little travel through history a little bit, we're gonna find out some other shit because the Romans, in my estimation, basically are the jump off of white supremacy.
Wait, hold
I
on, wait,
agree with you on that.
hold on.
Absolutely.
Let me rewind because I want to make sure I heard you right. You said the Italians here in the United States
Mm,
haven't committed any pestilence against us.
that's not what I said.
Okay, I just want to make. That's why I'm asking.
Okay, yeah,
I want
no,
to
that's
make
not
sure
what
I
I
get
said.
you right.
No, what I'm saying is whatever they did here did not equal what was done by other European races to us here. That's what I'm saying. You know what I mean, we
Okay.
got we
You
got a lot
talking
of
about
we got a lot
so
of
you're
British and
mainly talking
French.
about as immigrants when they came over and set up shops in America.
I'm talking about the black experience in America.
Okay.
You know what I mean? From the time they came over here and infiltrated, because there wasn't no fucking immigration. They wasn't immigrating, they was infiltrating. When they came
Okay.
over here and infiltrated and took what they took and set up what they set up, I mean, I don't think it was in the history that I know, there wasn't a huge Italian contingency involved in that part of it. And I do understand Christopher Columbus was Italian, all of that. I understand all of that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm talking about setting up the whole infrastructure of what we're still having suffrage from today. You know what I mean?
I
But
think I'm
having
following. I think I'm following.
Yeah, I definitely see your point in terms of gauging who did what most or who did what the worst. That's a tough one.
here,
that's like,
I'm saying
uh,
here in America.
yeah, yeah.
That's where my mindset was at. Here in America.
Right. It's tough to put a measuring stick on. Like for me, it's tough to put a measuring stick on who did the most or who did the worst. But I definitely think that when it comes to the Italians and their involvement, it's easy to their involvement was so strategic. It was much more strategic versus other European cultures. It was a lot more crude as far as the things that were projected onto us. Italian culture affected us in such a strategic, manipulative, and well woven fashion that they don't appear to have as much blood on their hands. When I think about mafia culture, how that's affected the black community alone, this mafia culture alone devastated and destroyed and dismantled so much in our communities that we're still affected by it today, and they still prospering from a lot of that devastation today. Their hands are so extremely bloody. like I said, I don't know how I could put a measuring stick on whose hands got the most blood on it. But I do know that their blood is a little bit more well hidden and strategic.
So I'm gonna need you to expound on what you just said.
Let me get in real quick. We, did y'all? It's a video floating around YouTube. A brother who used to be sentenced, and I guess he just got a little colorful personality named Charleston White. He's got a
Yeah,
video out
yeah,
what he's
I
talking
know who
about.
that is.
Yeah, I
You
know what
saw
you're talking
that?
about.
Yeah, I know who he is. I know Charleston White.
Yeah, I seen this video. I don't know
Yeah,
which one you referencing.
yeah. He's got a very powerful take on Italians, where he said that culture, kind of backing up what Ellen and I just saying. So I back out because that video kind of brings home Ellen I's message about the Italian influence on us.
Oh, you know,
Influence. So when you say the word influence, that still leaves you a choice. You know what I mean? So, and I'm not diminishing anything that you're saying. I'm not championing that. You know what I
Gotcha.
mean? Man, I'm just trying to explain where my mind was at when I made the
I
statement that I
got you.
made. You know what I mean? I was thinking of systemically, so forth and so on. You know what I mean? I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. Like I even, like I said, I've been a little busy, man. You know what I mean? I've been a little busy with this whole colonialism thing a little bit, man. I've been, I think that what the Italians did in Africa definitely speaks volumes to, like I said, they pretty much are the jump off for white supremacy.
well,
You taking that back
interestingly
to
enough,
Rome, you know, they are the ones, and what Mussolini was doing.
mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Up in northern Africa, man. That was crazy. I got some numbers, man, that was staggering, bro, in terms of what he did, man. I'm just gonna give y'all this real quick. The Ethiopians recorded 275,000 combatants killed, 17,800 civilians killed by aerial bombardment, 30,000 in the February 1937 massacre, 35,000 died in concentration camps, 24,000 patriots executed by summary courts, 300,000 persons died of privation. Am I saying that right? Privation due to the destruction of their villages, amounting to a total of 760,300 deaths. And that was, all done by Mussolini and his people. You know what I mean? So I'm not in no way giving nobody a pass for a pessimist done to black people globally. You know what I'm saying? So again, my head was in a time frame, really. You know what I'm saying? Was what I was thinking. You know what I'm saying? And I learned a new word for you, brother. Roman hegemony. 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 It's a crazy term. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know the definition. I've glanced over it, but it's ironic that most times hegemony is really
Hegemony. That's
associated
how you
with
say it.
colonialism.
Exactly. Right.
You know
You
what
could
I
have helped me
mean?
out earlier, motherfucker. You heard
Yeah,
me?
it's associated with that
Yeah. Yeah.
specifically.
Yes.
So it's not a good word.
No. 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 I mean, not for us.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
right.
saying? We don't have any black hegemony. So, like,
Absolutely.
you know what I mean? But, yeah. So, we could take that back to, their whole infiltration, Carthage, you know what I mean? Sliding into Northern Africa, you know what I mean? That whole campaign. And we could take it to the Romans and the Vatican, the subliminal nature of what they propagated. That wasn't pro black. That was anti black than the motherfucker. Absolutely. You know what I mean? So just to get that out the way real quick, you know what I mean, about the Italians,
Yeah.
I felt like
My
I
my
needed.
my purpose for discussing that was just us having a conversation, man. People, I think people need to know if they don't know. I mean, we can have a discussion about it as well, even if they do know. Some of the factors that should be considered as we talk about our condition. You know what I mean? I'm gonna back out L9 so you can go ahead and get in there.
All right. Going back to the thing with the Italians, right? It's interesting because it made me think about your backdrop, right? Definitely dope backdrop, yo. That was done under the leadership of an Italian.
And an Irishman.
Right. I mean, at the end of the day, they all work together. ain't no- I ain't got no argument for that.
Right.
When it come to our destruction or going to war with us, that's the catch-22 is that they Irishmen, the Polishman, the European man, the
Oh yeah.
all bind together as one white conglomerate. You know what I mean? And that's the dilemma that we deal with as black folks. I hear amongst my people the most is that on one hand, we don't want to condemn all white people, but on the other hand, the level of crime that has been committed against us and the need for accountability is so strong, it's hard to turn a blind eye to it. So it's difficult to differentiate between the two to figure out, like, all right, how do we deal with this problem without condemning all white folks? I think for me, it's understanding that when I specifically talk about white folks, I speak more in the context of that mindset, that conglomerate I spoke about, them all coming together when it's time to have power over us. When it comes to just skin color, I understand, there's situations. I just seen a documentary where a woman who was half black had a baby with a white man. She had twins. One of them was born looking like a black girl. One of them was born looking like a white girl. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I know that story.
I can't just use like, all right, I got family that live in Germany amongst white people, look white. Then look at me. You know what I'm saying? So I can't just use the visual skin color to speak in a context that's much broader than that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So, yeah, definitely. I think for me, when I think about it though, like I said, I don't know how to figure out who got the most blood on their hands. Historically, in my studies, when it come to us, they all they all equally just as equally as dirty, as
Oh,
guilty. The need for accountability is equally as strong whether they come from Poland or Ireland. When it comes to the destruction of humanity, you know what I mean, and the beauty that nature provides, you know what I'm saying? Those it's certain white folks that don't give a fuck, yo. You know what I'm saying?
well,
Not I've met some, I met some black devils too. Don't get it twisted. You know what I'm saying? I don't want that to cause, you know what I mean? I'm not putting a message out there like, because that's the type shit Don King was on. You know what I mean? In the boxing world, you know what I mean? That's how he got over on a couple people, you know what I'm saying? On some fuck whitey, we all brothers, but then he doing some slimy shit, you know what I'm saying? So the game is tricky for us because we got to deal with our own people and we got to deal with whatever dysfunctions they dealing with as far as trying to project that shit onto us.
agree. Agree.
Yeah, one of the messages that I took from Malcolm's message was that we've always put politicians in places with the expectation that they were going to lead us somewhere. He was saying this back in the '60s. You know, we in what 60 years later. I got the dude down in South Carolina saying we should change the national anthem to "Lift Every Voice and Sing." What the hell difference is that gonna make? What we changing songs, but we ain't talking about reparations.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
I mean,
And
has
that's
it
what Malcolm was saying is that
right?
we have these expectations of these political beings, and they've never come. They never really have done the work of the people.
How
I,
can they?
I had a fierce discussion with my wife. Um, Naturally, I say naturally, a lot of people have this love of Barack Obama. They do, you know.
Very big is.
They have it. Listen, he's the first, and
Is he?
people have that love of him. But I had a fierce discussion of her, and with her, and I said, 98% of black people voted for him.
Because he was black.
98% with the expectation of something, right? Because really what we're starting to hear is this narrative now. Well, the black community didn't ask for nothing from him, so he didn't have, you got to put something before him for him to do something. And I was thinking, that's not what we did.
Right.
There's
That
a
part
there's,
right there.
there's an unspoken communication when 98% of the people vote for you. Now you telling me I gotta get on my knees, I gotta bend, I gotta take my hat off, I gotta do all these old different things now.
You got to do it the right way. I mean, and if I can interrupt you briefly for
Good.
a second,
I'm through with my rant. That was my rant.
you already know, how I feel about Barry Big Ears, man. You know what I mean? He was apropos for the time. You know what I'm saying? Well, my question is he the first black president?
There's some conspiracy theories out there that say a couple other people are, but
That's my first argument. You know what I mean? I thought Bill Clinton was the first black president. You know, tongue cheek humor. But
I
that
get
was
it.
that was humorous. But I get the other side of that coin, Feek. I get how much he couldn't do because he wasn't allowed to do it. The government wouldn't allow him to do anything. Da 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 da. And then I turn around and hear about all this autonomy that Trump has. And I'm like, are we talking about the same office? You know, um, I never expected Barack to do anything for us.
No, I'm not
It,
saying like,
it sickens me to see him on the Mount Rushmore of Black excellence, man.
well,
Because he has not earned that.
not yet. I agree with you. We
Hey,
had
yeah,
this
what the fuck he did in
conversation.
the
He
last
hasn't
4 years
earned it
since
yet.
he wasn't the president?
Yeah, he hasn't earned it yet. I've always stated that what he does out of office is going to cement that if he's going to
But we
be,
can we can see how that's working out, can't we?
it's not a great start. It's not a great start at all.
Yeah, we can
Um,
see what his post office intentions are. You know, and again, man, it's no hate, man. Like what I mean. I
nah,
think I think Rock was, man, definitely the coolest president we ever had. That nigga Diddy Bop down Pennsylvania Avenue, man, was enough for me. But I'm not a champion of Barack Obama either. You know what I mean? But again, he's in a certain position, in a certain office, and he can only do what he could do in that joint. Y'all know what that mean, right?
that's right on time too.
Yeah, so that mean they listening. Um, but yeah, I didn't really expect a lot from Barack, man. I really did not, man. I really did not expect a lot from Barack.
Now, when I say there's an expectation, I mean
I know what you're
more
saying.
than what he did.
Yeah,
You know,
he owed us. He owed us.
more than what he did. So
He owed us, man. Flat out. We put him in there. No ifs, ands, or buts about it.
yeah,
Hands down.
we did the
Hands down,
same
put him in
thing.
there.
We did the same thing with Biden.
And you know what
Now,
he did once he got in?
well, we gotta. There has to be something learned from all of this. If I'm learning from what Malcolm said 60 years ago, just because you support somebody and get them in office don't mean you stop asking. You got to start pounding that joker now, man. That's the
You got to
political process. I mean, if we don't believe in it, that's something else. But if you do believe in the political process, you got to start banging his head.
you got to hold them people accountable, man.
So
You know that's part of the political process that you have to hold your
yeah,
leaders accountable.
and that's the one
What
thing
they
I
call
do.
it? What they call it? Quid quo pro.
Yeah, absolutely,
You know,
absolutely. That's the one thing that Malcolm was hard on. It was, we've done all these things and we're still in the same position where we're at now, asking, begging, hat in hand.
yeah,
When
but
you gonna get tired of that is what Malcolm said. When you gonna get tired of all this hat in hand crap? You know what I
but
mean?
then
And get out here and start knocking some jokers over their head. Returning this stuff. So
speaking of which, something last year that man happened, man, with the Breonna Taylor thing, man. When the cops got basically in no trouble. It was during the playoff bubble run, and I couldn't remember feeling more impressed as when certain key NBA players, LeBron and them, say, "Listen, we not going forward with this X Y Z." And then in the same fell swoop, man, my tremendous feeling of pride turned to shit because they went right back to work like that seemingly. I'm like, you got them right there, and then you settle for nothing. You know what I mean? You settle for stuff that ain't gonna change anything. They said, "We'll let the people come in and vote in our basketball homes, our basketball arenas." I'm sure there's some other grassroots things that are beneficial that have happened from that, but on a mass scale, like, what changed? Ain't like them dudes got retried. You know what I mean? So I was like, we still going for the same. Hey, throw a couple dollars at a cause, give you some photo ops, and you like Cyrus and Warriors, you calming everybody down, chill, relax. We got it. It's over now. Hove did the same thing with the NFL Super Bowl thing and all that with the Kaepernick joint. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that he don't have a bigger mind. I'm just saying from what it looks to the general public, like me, myself, it looked like, man, you settle for some shit that benefits you. It ain't gonna change the structure. But they are arguably considered our elite, only because of finances, but they are arguably considered our elite. Why didn't they get behind Q? Why we ain't hearing no more talk about Q and his agenda? That's man. I don't know, man. It's like we only want this much shit. Like, what I'm saying? We only want this much shit, and some of our elite just want to protect their elite status. So I don't think they really want to balance it out. And more recently, man, you know what? I know I'm going on and on. I'm sorry, y'all. But
no,
more recently, man, I've been like, who are our fucking leaders? We can't be riding off of Farrakhan, Claude Anderson. Them guys at the end of the day wrote, man. Where the next batch at? Who are they?
all right. Well, let's talk about that, man. What's going on in Philly, man? Who are some of the grassroots guys that you guys know about?
I couldn't tell you, brother.
I would say that most effective leaders are the ones that you probably aren't looking at that way. They probably aren't putting themselves out there in a celebrity type format.
I don't even
And
mean.
I would even go as far as to say that those leaders are people such as you and I.
I
You
get
know what I
that.
mean?
I get that. I get that. I get that. Now I'm not so much speaking to a celebrity as I am to a galvanization. You can have a million me's, a million U's, but if we don't do this right here, it's just a million me's and a million U's. We got
I
all
get
these,
that. I
yeah, we
get
got
that.
all these little satellites that's fighting for independence.
We had a
Nobody,
conversation about this though. We had one where
yeah,
we were talking about whereas all these silos of leaders, all these groups. You got the Masons over here, you got the Shriners, and you got these Greek fraternities, you got these Greek sororities, you got these churches, you got all these places where everybody's spread out with all these kingdoms. And then we got the grassroots organizations. We got people like Jay-Z doing a lot of stuff in the background.
yeah.
Cube doing a lot of stuff. So all these different kingdoms, everybody's doing all this.
It's still
None of
separation though.
in the middle. It's all spiraled out everywhere.
Yeah.
So you got all that going on.
After a while, that
So
just become. After a while, it just kind of looks confusing to me.
well, it's
No,
no connecting point.
right? There's no cohesion to it, right?
There's no connecting point. So you got all these, and everybody wants to be a leader.
Right.
Everybody wants to lead. So nobody wants to be a soldier. So I think that plays a part in it. And these are not issues that we didn't have before. My study of the civil rights movement, those
Oh yeah, but
them
when they
jokers
came
fought all the
outside,
way. Them jokers fought all the way. They was fighting even before they showed up. And
but when
then
they showed up,
they color.
it did give the image of solidarity.
They
You know what
gave
I'm
the
saying?
image, but those jokers was fighting the whole way. But when it was time to, they snapped too when it was time. But and maybe that's what's going on right now. We don't know.
Hopefully,
We have because the way I see it, like I was saying, if we would have went on yesterday, I would have had a different whole attitude. But the more and more I think about it, like I said earlier, man, this is the same stuff, different day, man. 60 years later, well, it's time to enact some of the same stuff that we had before. Um, the business models. We got to start doing business with ourselves, man. Building up our own business models just like we did before. And like we talked before, we got to protect those models, man. And you gotta throw out. This is gonna sound crazy, but you gotta throw out the people that can't operate without white proximity. You gotta throw them out of there.
I like that term.
You gotta get them out of there.
I really like that term.
Yeah, if you can't operate without white proximity, I gotta get you out of here, man. You seem to have a love of others rather than a love of yourself. So, and it got me thinking too, man. I put a post out. Um, there used to be a book, this green book. I talked about it before. We might have to get back to that, man. Satellites, where if I'm going down south to see my family, because listen, I ain't going down there for no vacation no more. I'm going to see my family or whatever. That's the only reason why I'm going down there. But if I do decide to go down there, I need a pathway. That's where the times is at now. I need a pathway. I need to know where I can go. That's how I feel. So I'm actually it's formulating in my mind. It's a big project too, but I'm thinking about undertaking that project, man, and putting together something like that, man. I'm thinking about it.
Okay.
It starts with yourself. It's an opportunity for that. I looked today. I was like, is there a national black own business directory? I didn't see one when I looked online.
Right. I told you the ordeal I had the other day, man. A couple weeks ago, man.
Yeah,
I was just trying to get some black cooked breakfast, man. You know,
we,
and
we, should,
I literally rode from one end of the city to the other and found nothing.
we should have that, man. We've been here since the dawn of this country, man. We should have those satellites
Or the
that we
dawn of this
talk
country.
about, man. We should have it, man. I should that book too that I'm talking about should be in everybody's home too.
Yes, man. If it ain't there, we
You
better
know
get
what
it
I
there.
mean? You know, if I'm traveling out of state, I look in the book. All right, this is my direct path to where I'm going,
Direct path. Yes.
where I know I'm safe. That's where we at now. Like I said, it's not a time where you know it's not for me anyway. Like I said, the more I thought about this, it's not a time of fear. This is where this is it. This is how we've been doing this. We got a little comfortable a little bit, but now we see what it is now.
Right.
So let's get back to what it was. Let's get our black owned directory. Let's get our green book. Let's get our satellites together. Let's start talking to in close proximity those people that we need to talk to. If something goes down, you can get on the horn. Hey,
Send that cavalry.
911.
Send that cavalry. Surf the
You
nigga
know,
net. That's what I call it. The nigga net.
hey.
You know.
So today I decided. Today I said, man, I'm not watching no more of this propaganda, man. Now more and more. Before I cut the TV off yesterday, because I watched a lot of TV yesterday, and I'm starting to see the effect of that. When you watch the
Oh
TV,
man.
you start taking that on. They preach fear.
Come on with it, brother.
They preach fear, man.
Come on with it. Tell the people.
I was
Tell them.
I was in that mode yesterday too. I was like, oh man, what we gonna do, man? What we gonna do, man? They coming after us, man. What we gonna do?
So
Looking
I got
at the
a
world, man. You sit back and you listen to Malcolm. You say, man, we've been doing this.
exactly.
This is it.
I think that's what L spoke to last week, man.
Yeah, this is
You know
it.
what I mean? That these things are already in existence. We just not using it. You know
Well,
what I
I think,
mean? We're just not employing it.
yeah, and we got to start grabbing up, like we said before. We start grabbing up young people and start dropping wisdom on them
Yeah.
and getting them ready, man. I imagine I can't speak because I wasn't there, of course, but I would imagine that's how it was back during the really turbulent times of this country. And who's not to say this is not a really turbulent time now?
Yeah, just a different nature. It's a different
Yeah,
nature to it. I think it's actually probably a little more turbulent in terms of
yeah,
mentally more turbulent than it's ever been because you basically have a faction that just doesn't know or understand the journey to this point and how our journey really just took us in a big ass circle. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So that's I feel you. I mean, I've been thinking about what you said a lot, man. About reaching out to the youth and things of that nature, man. So
Yeah, my journey starts this weekend, man, with uh, the 100 Black Men of Philly. I got
what y'all got going on?
they got a banking symposium type deal with the kids. It's all since we in
Here,
this COVID posture. No, it's all online.
so now send
Yeah,
me the link.
so I'll be online trying to once we had this little charter meeting. I'm still trying to become a member. Once we go through, the syllabus and figure out what's what, I say whatever I gotta say or participate starting this weekend. So So that's that journey of a million miles starts with one step. So that's what
That's it.
I'm trying to do, man, is just start reaching out. And I've said it before, I have to do more. I feel like a lot of jewels were dropped on me when I was a kid, and you don't really understand it when they're being dropped on you. That opens your mind up and get you through some of the issues you're going through. So I figure I should be able to do the same thing. So my journey starts this weekend. I'm
Yeah,
looking
I looked at
forward.
that more as a duty. So I feel you. You
Yeah,
know,
I'm really looking forward to it.
and you know what, man? I had a unique experience in my life, man, when I was, full time barber, man, in the shop. My outreach was so broad. You know what I mean? It's basically because everybody came to me. You know, and I would always give it up. El Nash had a hell of an outreach because he was like, right in the thick of it with the kids in the school system. You know what I mean? And the brother was pumping it out, man. Much respect for that. Like, I mean, again, we've been down that road and that conversation, man. My son is a direct beneficiary of that. It also, spawned our meeting, and what, 20 years later, look where we at. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Dope, dope shit. Um, so yeah, man, I've been feeling kind of naked, if you will, without that outreach. You know what I mean, too, man. Like, you know what I mean. I feel you, bro. Like, I feel like it's a void in me because I haven't been able to, share myself the way I might want to or the way I should be doing. You know what I mean? So yeah, the online thing, like I said, make sure I get that link, freak. I'm tuning in. You know what
Okay.
I'm saying? I'm tuning in. My
I
daughter
agree with
be,
you. This is my
hopefully
first
she'll be here with
introduction
me.
to it, so um, I want to be a part of it. We'll see how it goes, man. I'm not a quitter, but yeah, you got to see how it goes.
Yeah, I know when to fold them too, so I understand exactly what you're saying.
But
You know,
yeah, getting back to what you were saying about the barbershop, man. I put a couple posts out there, man, when they were start talking about other groups of folks coming into our communities and open up barbershops, and I was like, this is crazy, man. This is an institution.
institution, staple.
I mean, barbers are like psychologists,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
that stylists,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Psychiatrists, all those
yeah,
things, man.
yeah, yeah.
And that's where we went.
Philanthropist,
That's where we went to talk
business,
unfiltered
business.
business, everything.
Let's just call it business.
So I never understood that. I could never pay somebody $2 less and miss out on that.
Hey man, listen, bro. I'm a firm believer of this right here, man. You get what you pay for, like everything else in life.
Yeah,
Son, what you think about that chopper back there, son?
I recognize that, man.
I
You know
know
what I
you
mean?
do. I know you do.
I recognize that too well,
I know
man.
you
So
do.
it's a double-edged sword for me. You know what I mean? Because on one hand, I appreciate it. I think it's dope. You know what I mean? And on another hand, it's I still feel the pain. I still feel
triggering.
the wound. You know what I
So
mean?
it's doing
I
what it's
still,
intended to do. So
yeah, I
get a
still
little
feel
peek.
the trauma of it.
Yeah, just to give the people a little backdrop. That's the bomb that was dropped on the Move compound.
You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, you're supposed to feel it.
You know what I'm saying?
So I don't
I know
shy
people
away
probably
from
sit
that.
there looking at it like, what the fuck is that? That's that shit right there.
Yeah.
That's how they was feeling that day.
You ever hear the song that I recorded about the situation?
I want to say yeah, but by all means,
I
I'm
never
a big
heard.
fan of you. I'm a big fan of your work, bro. You already know that. You know what I'm saying? You already know that, bro. I already told you one of my favorite. You one of my favorite MCs, bro. Real rap.
Oh man, that's
Real
crazy
rap.
right there.
Real
I
rap.
heard you. I heard you say that before.
Yeah.
But it's such a profound thing that when you said it, I couldn't even really absorb it fully because it's like that shit is hear that is just profound because I know your take on hip hop and I know your favorite artist. So for you to even use that terminology in relation to me, I don't even know where to begin to how to even take that.
Just like you are. You know what I'm saying?
That's love, bro.
Just like you are.
That's love.
That's payment enough right there. You know.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
yeah. You
that's
can
big.
be
So
my travel music.
I'm
You
gonna try to
definitely.
get that.
I said you definitely my travel music, man. If I'm gonna be in the car for a minute, man, I gotta be able to relate. I gotta be able to connect to it. You know what I'm saying? And when
Yeah,
when I know the artist personally, man, you know, it's felt on a whole different level. It's understood, or as they say, overstood on a whole different level, man, because it's personal at that point for me. I mean, and your wordplay, man, like you know, come on, man, come on, man,
wow.
come on, man.
Wow.
I'm gonna keep it a bean. It
That's
is
what's
what it
up.
is, man.
Wow, that's dope. I'm gonna give y'all a little piece of this joint. It's called Chosen Children. It's a joint that I
I
wrote.
know that, John. You
Word.
know I know that, John. Good.
Yeah.
Bless the people.
All right. Here you go.
Absolutely.
How can I write this song about the things that I've seen wrong, though I wouldn't be right if I ain't mention why I think we need to get up and fight. Third grade residents, Spruce Street, straight across from Osage, where the city dropped a bomb and the cops made front page. Bullets aimed at the house, flesh burned women and children, shots fired wouldn't let them out. Let's talk the right about. Bulldozer came and swept the evidence out. Let them live is what the people on the block would shout as the cops knocked the baby out the mother's hand. Chosen children, life named after the motherland. Know what the police looking like, crushing the skull of an infant and putting cuffs on the mother's hands. I moved 9 times through the melody with 9 rhymes. Freedom, we them chosen children who walk with no feelings and talk about blood spilling, that dream about killing. Ready, able, and willing. Freedom, we them chosen children who walk with no feelings and talk about blood spilling, that dream about killing. Ready, able, and willing. Feeling quite manipulated, oversaturated, underrated, underestimated, underpaid, undereducated, overpopulated. A place where death is celebrated, can't quite accelerate it. I've been to hell and back and made it through the flames, though I still feel the pain from doing battle with the devil, and I'm marked with his blood stains. And it's the color brown, it make me wonder how I can see beyond the frown. Freedom, freedom, chosen children. Fuck the police coming straight from the underground. A young nigga got it bad when it comes to these clowns. I walk with an attitude, not much gratitude, I'm losing latitude. I'ma have to do what I'ma have to do. Return a favor, point them gats at you. I moved 9 times through the melody with 9 rhymes. They can't keep us all down and rumble at the same time. Freedom, we them chosen children who walk with no feelings and talk about blood spilling, that dream about killing. Ready, able, and willing. Freedom, we them chosen children who walk with no feelings and talk about blood spilling, that dream about killing. Ready, able, and willing.
Absolutely.
They have a right to live anywhere they want.
They can stay there as long as they want to. They're not bothering us.
How do your parents think about this? Well,
My parents said,
There's no need for this.
No need for nothing. Nothing.
No need
They didn't do nothing.
Just leave them people
They didn't
alone.
do
Let
nothing
them
to the
live
police.
the way they want to live.
They ain't do nothing to the city. They ain't do nothing to Rizzo.
Regard prejudice. I don't see what people think. People are people regardless of their color, their skin, their religion, their race, or nothing. They're still people. They can bleed. They can die. They can catch diseases. We can all go through the same situations, maybe with a different neighborhood or anything. But it's unnecessary for all of it. I really think it's unnecessary. Putting these people through all this hassle for nothing. And it all is going to boil down to a bunch of people getting hurt and killed over nothing. Over nothing that doesn't really make any sense.
Word.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna hit you with all kind of shit today, bro.
I see. I see. That's right on time right there, yo.
Absolutely.
Fig, what you think about that, Fig? I'm looking at I'm trying to translate the look on your face.
He's still digesting it, man.
Man, first of all, dope song, man.
Thank you.
Put me right there.
Yeah.
May 5th, 1987, right?
5.
1985. I was what? 10th grade.
Yeah.
I think everybody was looking at the TV. I mean, that's your neighborhood, but I think everybody in the city was looking at the TV just like I was, like,
Complete disbelief. You know what resonates to me about that whole thing, man? Wilson Good had just became mayor like the year before that. And this guy got on television and took onus for that shit, man. He took autonomy for that whole thing. But his words were, I'm this is almost verbatim, man. I was not fully aware of the measures that they were going to be taken, but I take full responsibility for what happened. And I remember being still a pretty young teenage kid and like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? Why would you own some shit like that? Because they made moves all around him, man. They didn't clear nothing with him. They just moved. They just did some classic Rizzo Gestapo type shit, man. You know what I mean? And pulled the trigger, man. But his words just kind of just always resonated with me, man. Like, why would you take responsibility for that? You're supposed to fire the police chief and the fire chief right then and there because they were the ones who actually made the call.
He did exactly what he was paid to do. And that's what
I get that. I get that. I mean, no. I'm hoping for way too much. But I mean, as a kid, though, that just kind of made me understand what we were against. You know what I mean? And the one dude who could have championed us at that time just took a back seat, man. And then the fucker came down our neighborhood that summer. He came down our neighborhood, walked through Stinger Square Park. Like he was the fucking man. And I wanted to punch the shit out of him, guys. I swear to God. I wanted to punch the shit out of him, man, when he came walking through there. But it was just like, I wasn't going to jail for that. You know what I mean? I just, oh man, that shit still fucks with me, bro.
I'm not laughing at what you said. I'm just laughing at you saying I'm not going to jail for that.
Yeah, not for that. No.
Yeah, it's a much better reason to go to jail, not for that. Because you wasn't gonna make it to him anyway.
Oh, I could have got him.
You wasn't gonna make it.
He was in our community, man. I mean, I was right there. I could have hit him, but I mean, where would I be at if I did that? I'd be Mumia cellmate. You know what I mean? Me and Mumia would have been cellies.
Yeah, images like that, man, just take you back, man, and trigger. It's triggering, man.
Yeah.
It's very triggering.
Dope cut though. You know I know that, John. Son, cut it out, man. Stop playing with me.
Yeah, so it's triggering, man. You know. And I'm looking at this picture behind you. I'm looking at the guy's the cop's face as he's looking at
Miss Africa.
just looking at. He has a very, very, that's the look that triggers. It's like, you know what I mean? It's a very triggering look, man. Like, you know, after all that devastation, what 30 blocks, 60 homes, and that doesn't look like a look of remorse, does it? You know what I mean?
Oh, no, that's a complete look of content.
So
you looking like, yeah, we got that bitch. We got one of them.
So it goes back to what we opened up with. We're not talking about individuals. We're talking about systematic. That's the look of systematic racism.
That's the face of it.
That's the face of it, man. We're not talking about individual folks.
Exactly.
We're not talking about your homie. You know, we're not talking about people that I grew close to in the military. We're not talking about those types of people. We're talking about systemic.
Yes, sir.
So
yeah,
that's the look of systemic racism right there. It triggers you, you know, because it's just very triggering, man. You know, good friend of mine, man, put something out on Facebook. He said, "Are we ready?"
Nope.
Them jokers came. Are we ready? Individually, because that's what we think like, right? I don't think we're ready. That's why I'm putting the call out, man. We gotta start linking up with these satellites that we keep talking about, man. It's on some real stuff, man.
So I want to share something else, right? Oftentimes we talk about different strategies, right? Different solutions. There's one strategy that we rarely talk about, and that's nothing. Nothing. Like, what happens if we just decide to be still in the midst of all of this chaos? Not nothing in the interest of complacency, or not the type of nothing that's fueled by ignorance and stagnation, but nothing in the interest of a strategy. For example, these white folks is running up on the state capitol, right? Collectively, majority, if not all of black folks that I've come in contact with have collectively and consciously decided that that's not our fight. It's almost unspoken. It ain't too many black people that I know of that's getting on the plane and going down there to join them in the midst of all of that chaos, right? In essence, the idea of doing nothing comes natural. But I'm going to share something that might explain it a little bit better. It's just an idea. It's just a theory. It's this children's cartoon that we brought up before, Avatar. I like it because it deals with certain concepts, certain practical concepts in an abstract fashion in an animated cartoon. I want to share this to really etch this point in the stone and see what y'all think about it. Idea of doing nothing.
You could earthbend? All along?
Well, they didn't cover my face.
I don't understand. Why didn't you free yourself? Why did you surrender when Omashu was invaded? What's the matter with you, Boomy?
Listen to me, Aang. There are options in fighting called Jin. It's a choice of how you direct your energy.
I know. There's positive Jing when you're attacking and negative Jing when you're retreating.
And neutral Jing, when you do nothing.
There are 3 Jings?
Well, technically there are 85, but let's just focus on the third. Neutral Jing is the key to earthbending. It involves listening and waiting for the right moment to strike.
That's why you surrendered, isn't it?
Yes, and it's why I can't leave now.
I guess I need to find someone else to teach me earthbending.
Your teacher will be someone who has mastered neutral Jing. You need to find someone who waits and listens before striking.
Hey, Momo.
Momo's mastered a few Jings himself. Goodbye, Aang. I'll see you when the time is right.
Yeah, so Boomy is the man, flat out. You know what I mean? I don't know if y'all heard me, but I was like, Boomy, that's my man.
I was looking for this cartoon, but I can't find it, man.
Avatar?
Yeah.
Really?
Where can I find it, man?
You can't find it
So
on YouTube?
it's on Netflix, I think.
Okay.
It's on Netflix.
You can't find it on YouTube?
Nah, not on YouTube.
Yeah, I looked on YouTube. I didn't
Really?
It's not going to be on YouTube. Clip's going to be on YouTube, but it's too much copyright stuff on YouTube for them to let that fly.
I'll go to Netflix and check it out because that will be something I'm interested in learning as I'm being entertained as well.
It's kind of put together like Looney Tunes, not on a comedic level. I'm talking on the subliminal message level of it. Looney Tunes was a kids commercial. I'm sorry, Looney Tunes was a kids cartoon for adults. Avatar is the same thing. It's a kids cartoon for adults.
Okay.
Because the kids will totally get it. The kids will totally understand it because they're going to be, wide open. You know what I mean? But if we're able to grab it and see past it being a cartoon, the jewels about this life, man. And in this particular clip, it's speaking of self-containment.
Yeah.
It reminds me of something that we talked about before, man. I like to use the phrase silence can be deafening. Just because it's oxymoronic. That's why I like to use it. You know what I mean? But it's really a fact. And I think that goes to what you're speaking about now, L. You know what I mean? Like we can just really just withdraw. You remember a show we did very early on, L, where I was saying stuff like this week, and I think I said it to you as well, man. During the election, I thought that would be the perfect opportunity for us to withdraw and do absolutely fucking nothing.
Yeah, we had that conversation. I disagree with you. But yeah, we had, and I started, after we had that conversation, I saw your point of view. I disagreed, but I really consumed your thought processes and everything. And I saw what you were saying.
That would have spoke volumes for us to just withdraw and say, hey, we're not participating. With the pestilence that we've been up against and we've been dealing with, and the non-justice behind that's been coming behind it, man. What the fuck we voting for? Keep that shit going.
I think you made an impact on me because although I'm not that guy, that political person that's going to be like, yeah, why are you voting? I'm not that person at all. I try to understand the issues, but I'm not a cheerleader. I'm not that guy.
Got you.
So when we had that discussion, and we talked for about a good hour, I remember that because I was driving somewhere and we were talking about it, and I was like, I thought about it afterwards, and I said, I disagree with you, but I understood what you were saying, and the impact that it had on me was that I really started like tuning out all messaging and getting to, all right, what's going to happen if this guy becomes president? What's going to happen? Well, if he stays president, what's going to happen? Give me concrete like stuff that's going to happen. and what I came away was nothing.
Not for us.
So,
But
yeah,
to that point, man, your position had a boomerang effect on me because it caused me to evaluate from a personal level, a smaller level, a community level, the importance of being in that system, or a point, making sure that people who can and are willing to represent necessary agendas make sure
yeah,
they get where they need to be at, because we can put our finger on them.
yeah. Because we
So
started talking about the local levels and stuff.
yeah, I was speaking of the presidential level. Period.
Yeah,
That's the one we should have boycotted.
yeah,
Not all of them all together. Because on the community level, man, like I said, like you said, and like Dre, you be saying the same thing in a different way, man. You know, this is where we can create strength. This is where we can create that diamond point. You know what I'm saying? On the
yeah. It's one
community
of
level.
Dr. Claude's key principles is
Right.
control the police. Well, I don't know how we get to that point, but maybe my
Stand up.
small brain is not there yet.
Yeah, stand up. We just gotta represent.
But he said one of the key points is control your police, control your politicians, control your money.
With pro.
So
Let me speak to that because some things seem so impossible. I think sometimes you could feel like you've been down for so long you don't even know what it looked like to get up, right? And I think that's kind of the condition that we in a lot of ways. So it's like I remember I used to live in Pittsburgh, right? And they had Bloods and Crips out there at the time. And
Definitely. Definitely.
you went to school or something out there, didn't you, Mill or something like
I
that?
didn't go to school, man. I sold a lot of weed in Pittsburgh, man.
Oh, word.
I was up there with some cats in school. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? But yeah, I sold a lot of them. I sold a lot of weed up there. But it
right.
was a time when I was getting myself to straight, my mental together, man, because I was disconnecting from the bullshit and reestablishing myself. And that's actually when I came back. That's when I jumped into the barber thing with 2 feet. You know what I'm saying? Because it provided that lane and that freedom that I needed to do that, man. Sorry for interrupting you, bro.
Word. So in Pittsburgh, they got a little small town, little small section called Homewood. And
No
at the
home.
time, Homewood was Crip territory. And I remember when we used to ride through Homewood on the bus, we used to have to duck down because they used to shoot at the bus sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was the first time in my life where I saw the cops held in check. Police wouldn't ride through certain sections of Homewood because the gang members would shoot at the cop cars.
Mm-hmm.
Bottles at the cop cars, shoot at the cop cars. They didn't give a shit about the cops.
Right.
It was they territory. And the cops respected it as such. Up to a certain point, of course. Eventually they put together a gang task force and all that, but they rode.
But that's what it was going to take.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? On a regular day, it wasn't going down like that. You know what I'm saying?
No.
So early, I saw an example where it was like, man, cops can, like they people just like we people. At the end of the day, they people that get up and go to work. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, they gotta put forth this. They gotta poke their chest out a little bit because of their position. But at the end of the day, I don't want all that smoke.
No,
You
they're
know
trying
what
to
I
get
mean?
home.
And the people unified under a flag. It was a gang flag. Nonetheless, the concept was still relevant. Unified under a flag, and they had they block and check.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I saw
Sound like
other
this.
small examples of this, like in Philly. What was that? Was that J Street? What was that, man? Ayuga. It's been so long, man. Up there by where the poppies is at, man.
Oh yeah, Butler
In
Street, all
North
that
Philly,
shit.
man. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? You used to ride through. It was like a drive-through. You know what I
I
mean?
like my ass. That's exactly what the fuck it
Yeah,
was.
it was a
I mean,
drive-through.
you can get anything except from your personal to weight.
Man, you can get
Pulling up.
anything.
Just pulling
Anything.
up.
Drug of your choice, dick, everything.
Them niggas just go up there, man. Listen, man. You can probably go up there and buy a brick, cause on the ride by, like you
Or some
understand?
drive-through shit.
On a drive-through, bro. Like, yo, who got that shit? What you need? I need a brick of that shit.
Right. You know, and I had some homies that was working up there, so I got a little bit of further insight on how they organize their business.
Oh, man.
Plus, I was working in juvenile detention centers, and so a lot of young boys from out there was locked up with me. So I had some insight on how they handled their business, and that was another example where I saw like, yo, they got law enforcement, they got shit in check. Like it ain't like the cops ain't know what was going on.
That's
It was
so
just that they was strong. They were so strong
right.
that the cops was on some get down and lay down shit. The cops had to be.
They
A
was
lot of
making
the
money
cops
too.
is part of that shit. Yeah.
They was making bread too.
Right. So under the right situation and circumstances with the right tools, it's not that far fetched
At all.
to think
Not
about
even,
the idea of putting law enforcement in check accordingly. They're supposed to be in check anyway.
yeah, they work for you.
Yeah. Community's supposed to have a say so in that. You know what I mean? Other communities do. You know what I mean? You go to these white towns, cops can't make a move without having somebody to answer to.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just that we've lost a lot of that power.
We're giving it away. We ain't losing. We gave it away. It just takes me right back to that Dirty Harry scene, man. You know what I mean? One cop can hold off 10 dudes because he's a police officer. You know what I mean?
One of the lines on that song that I played was I said, "You can't keep us all down to rumble at the same time."
Yeah, I heard that. Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not even possible.
It's impossible for you to get everybody. You understand what I'm saying? And if we move, accordingly, everybody gets away. We don't have to sacrifice nobody. You know what I mean? Blind, blitz, attack, and be gone. You know what I mean?
You know how old the young brother is behind you, man, when he got murdered?
23?
Early 20s.
No, he was 21.
21? Yeah.
Fred Hampton, he said we dealing with megalomaniac warmongers.
Megalomaniac warmongers. That about sums it up for me. So
yeah, we talked about prophets earlier when we was talking about Malcolm. He short. His window was like this, but if you listen to anything he said, 21, you don't get that.
They were terrified of Fred. They were terrified of Fred.
You don't get that. That's in you. Yeah. I was just sitting there looking at the picture.
Mm-hmm. So that makes me think about France, man. The French colonial empire began in the 16th and 17th centuries.
Sound like you did the same research I did.
In its peak.
Here's my
1680. In its peak. At its peak. In 1680, man. 3,900,000 square miles was their territories. 150 million inhabitants. And that's the first French Empire. You know what I mean? They were busy, man. They were busy. And ironically, man, say why did France start colonizing? To create trading posts, preferred trade, and to convert natives to Catholicism. They were the reasons why they gave it that they started colonizing people. Well, damn.
I'm laughing, man, because that's what I would say. If I'm
That's
gonna
crazy.
man and your resources, I'm gonna convert you, man. I'm
Right.
saying,
I gotta convert you.
yeah, I come in peace.
Well, I mean, that's the methodology. They send the,
I come in peace, man. Let me introduce you to my God.
yeah. And then, after a while, it's like, love Jesus or die. You know what I mean?
I come to cure you of your heathens.
Yo, that makes me think of the movie Sankofa, man. Um, you seen that feat?
I have not.
Oh, dude, you gotta treat yourself to that, man. Fred, I know you seen it.
Yeah, of course.
Remember
I
when
saw
Joe
that.
killed Nunu?
I saw that in the movie theater.
Oh, you using that 2 week window before they
Yeah,
pulled it.
yeah,
They pulled that shit in like 2 weeks.
yeah.
Man, that was crazy. So remember when Joe killed Nunu?
Yeah, of course.
So Nunu was Joe's mother. She got raped on the journey over by a sailor. So she bore a mulatto, where he had pretty much the European's color, hair color, eye color, but he had straight Negroid features. You know what I mean? So he was shown favor because he was a mulatto. He was also like a cold fucking snitch. You know what I mean? When the Maroons would meet and plot their escapes and stuff like that. So the backdrop of the movie is in Jamaica. You know what I mean? So they would go to the hills and plan their escapes and stuff like that. And Joe would rat him out every fucking time because his mother would take him a couple times. He'd come back and tell the whole fucking plan. Oh, what? Okay, right. So he wound up him and his mom get into it while they standing in the river. I wish you would have showed that part. He winds up choking his mom out and drowning her, killed her. You know what I mean? So he picked the body up and he took it into the church to the priest. Italian dude, ironic. No, he was Spanish. The priest was Spanish. So he introduced his dead mother's corpse to the priest, saying, like, she cool now. Make sure she get to heaven. And the priest flipped out on him. You know what I mean? Get that heathen out of here. What you bring her here for? He's like, no, she all right now. You know what I mean? Now she can go to God. Now she can go to heaven. And the dude was just like, yo, get her the fuck out of here. So Joe put his mom down. I was like, yo, why you talking about it like that, man? You know what I mean? And he wound up choking the priest out and killing the priest. You know what I mean? That's a trippy joint, guys. You gotta watch Sankofa, man. You gotta watch Sankofa. That's a trippy movie, man. And they pulled that joint like that.
Guns, horses, head slaves, I can still hear it all now. And I heard the gun go off again and the dogs, I heard them as they scrunched one of us, I heard his voice. Keep on running, sister. Keep on running. The horse's hooves got closer and closer right on our heels, and suddenly I heard another one go down. They were right on our heels, and I knew I was next. One cried out for me to go on as the dogs feasted on him. Keep on running, sister. Run, run, run. My head started getting hot, and I wasn't tired no more. Then I had this feeling, this light feeling, and it wasn't no more pains in my feet. This big buzzard was flying next to me, and he spread his wings and scooped me up and up and up, just like what Shango said. Next thing I know, I'm in the air, going up and up and up, and this miserable earth is getting smaller and smaller, turning into something small. Dogs and overseers, head slaves, horses, getting smaller and smaller, just like what Shango said. Buzzard brought me.
Yeah, so I mean that particular clip right there, man, just kind of shows you the complete outcome of colonialism. You know, that's the point. That's the whole point of it right there. You know, that's the whole
Yeah,
point.
I might have to check it out, man.
Yeah, buckle up though, bro. Buckle up.
Oh, absolutely, man. Absolutely.
I mean, I remember you and I having conversations, man, and you told me you don't watch them kind of movies. You know what I'm saying?
Um,
It was
That's
a
a
long
different.
time ago. It was a
That's
long time
that's
ago.
a different beast, though. You know what I mean?
yeah,
That
I try to.
Sankofa is not as gruesome though as some of the other ones though. You know what I mean? It's really not. It's
Well,
more.
I kind of changed my position. I think at one point I did say I didn't want to watch a lot of slavery type movies because it puts you in a mind frame of well, what I had said at the time was it puts you in a almost in a because it's the unspoken emotion is one of like first you go through all those ranges of emotions. The first one is like rage, and then there's like a helplessness. What can that person do? And then it's just that feeling that you get. But as I've gotten a little older, and I don't know how far back I shared that with you, um, I'm starting to look at it more from a learning perspective. As was said earlier, how did they survive? What did they do? What were some of the stories, the stories that are not told from an oppressive perspective, but from their perspective? What did they do? What were their daily life like? So that helps me to turn around my perspective a little bit, where I'm not watching it more so from that mind frame. I'm watching it from a different mind frame.
I get you. I get you. I get
So
you.
I'm starting to, as we grow, we start to open up to different things, and while I won't watch a Roots as much because I've seen it, if I do settle down and watch it, I'm watching it from a different perspective, and I can always fast forward through that bullshit. You know what I mean? So um, that's what I try to do, man.
Yeah, for me, you know, I go so many different places with Roots, man. I'm not a fan of Roots at all. I think
Nah,
Roots, I think Roots kind of projected that slavery was okay. You know, that's what I got from Roots. It wasn't that bad. You know what I mean? And you know, it was kind of
what's the story? It's the
it was,
story.
it was
That's
kind of glorified, man. You know,
yeah.
but they got some other works out there, man, that are very much, very more pungent, a lot more pungent
Yeah,
about that whole Holocaust. I like what the Bull did a couple years ago, Nate Parker, man. I like this piece.
I did too. I got that.
Yeah, Birth of a Nation. I like that. That was, you know,
Did you see the action that came before that movie though? That kind of tells you what
Oh, he wasn't met well. They brought up some child, some not childhood, but some
No,
younger man,
it was a
statutory rape or
rape
something.
charge that got dismissed.
Yeah, he was like 20 and the girl was like 17 or some shit like that.
Yeah, it was on some bullshit though.
Yeah,
It kind
yeah.
of tells you that there's some forces out there that don't want certain things to be
Well,
seen. So
that reminds me of a scene from Gladiator, man, where Commodus wanted to kill I can't remember Russell Crowe's character's name and then Maximus. When Commodus wanted to kill him. And the dude who was in charge of the gladiators, so he said, "You're fine, man. He can't kill you. The people love you." He said he has to kill your name before he can kill you.
I remember that scene.
So that's kind of what they try to do to Nate Parker. You know what I mean? They went after his name to try to discredit him, man. Not I commend the brother for having the wherewithal to
And
go
he's
through
about
with
to
it.
put out another movie.
I seen it. I seen it. I seen it. I seen it.
And that's his movie. That's not a Spike Lee joint. He just pulled in Spike to assist him. What he wrote,
Right.
directed, and produced all that. Spike's got this executive producer tag on it, and everyone wants to kind of think it's a Spike Lee joint, but that's a Nate Parker thing, man.
Yeah, Nate doing his thing, man. Big up to Nate Parker. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
his
Brother
I
got cojones.
can't wait to see that. I don't know if it's gonna hit the theaters or wherever I'm gonna consume it at, but I'm gonna consume it though.
Yeah, yeah.
Cause I heard him talking about it. They did an interview over in Italy, him and Spike doing all the pre stuff that they do. And he was saying that, you know, he wants to give a full look at how that goes down. And he said he focused on a couple different aspects in that I want to see it.
Right.
I want to see it.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember the storyline to it, the backdrop to it.
The backdrop is what we've been through. Cop kills his son.
Right.
Cop kills his son.
Right.
Needlessly just killed him. I mean, it happens, right? Every day. And then, you know, he responds. You know.
That just made me think of something.
With a crew. You know what I mean?
He had his squad.
Organized.
He had his squad. Right.
Organized.
Right.
You know, so
that just made me think of something, man. You know, it's way left of what we're talking about, man. But it's like, for some reason, man, the Black Lives Matter movement, the organization came into my mind, man. When you say, you know, it happens every day that we killed by cops. From what I understand, that whole slogan was birthed out of a rally they had for Freddie Gray.
Okay.
I wonder how much.
That's right around that time frame, yeah, when they were birthed.
Yeah. So they were chanting it at the Freddie Gray rally, and, you know, George Soros heard it and found it to be equitable, or saw that it could be equitable. So he coined it. I ain't mad at him for that. But I wonder out of that, like, how much does Freddie Gray's children or family even, how much did they benefit off of that?
The movement?
The monetization of it. The monetizing of it. I mean, I know he had a settlement. That's what got him in trouble. He got fucked up by the cops and he settled. Yeah, he got some money. And the cops was mad at him.
You talking about his people, right?
You know, I'm talking about Freddie Gray. That's what happened to him. I mean, he got a settlement, so I know they got some money from that. But from that rally being about him, I wonder how much of the resources, if any, went back into, you know, his people.
You being rhetorical, right?
Now I'm being funny as shit is what I'm being.
Now that I grabbed it, I was like, yeah, he being a funny guy.
Yeah, I'm being a dick, as they call it.
Man, that's almost like Haiti, right? Remember when Haiti had the earthquake? The numbers that came in about that were astronomical in terms of aid, you know, billions of dollars or something.
Haiti still poor as shit.
You know, $1 billion.
Are they still paying France?
I'm not sure, man. Um, I'm not sure, but $1 billion of aid poured in because of that, and I don't see it. I don't see any kind of. I don't see that redevelopment. A sister that I know who is a nurse, and she did some outreach in Haiti. She said that the natives down there believe that they're cursed because they broke away from France, and ever since then, nothing nothing good has ever happened in Haiti. And when she told me that, of course, I'm not gonna go against what the people down there think, but I just kept thinking about the economics, the whole economics of that whole situation. They were paying France, and then as they were paying France, all other organized countries pulled out as well. So they were, what would you call that when?
Embargoes.
Yeah. So nobody wanted to deal with the free black country.
So that's
Everybody pulled out.
that's the power of NATO.
Well, I don't know about NATO, but
Oh, France is a part of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization,
I just
and
know that I think it has something to do with the economics of that.
what's what I'm talking about. Um,
So,
France is a member of NATO, so when they pulled out, you know what I mean, because
oh,
of
you
that
talking
COVID,
about their fellow countrymen in that organization?
well, all the countries that you just spoke about, America, you know, whoever else was part of NATO, they just refused to do commerce with Haiti. Kind of similar thing that happened to Cuba. You know, difference is Cuba had another power that was feeding them, so they was cool. Haiti had no other power. Interesting thing about Haiti to me is, you know, when I found out that Haiti and the Dominican Republic is on the Dominican Republic are on the same landmass.
You wouldn't
That's,
know it. You
that just
wouldn't
fucks
know
me up completely, man. So they pushed them like to the poor part of the land, so they can't do. They like it's almost impossible to farm in Haiti. You know what I mean? Certain areas of Haiti. You
it.
know what I mean? And the areas that you can farm, I don't think you can produce enough to sustain the people
Yeah, yeah.
without going down to the southern part, and the Dominicans just refused to deal with them. As a matter of
You,
fact, wasn't they president running Haitians out of the Dominican Republic a couple years
yeah,
ago?
yeah. Um,
And this nigga was half Haitian himself.
Really, that's all about colonialism as well, man.
Oh,
The
exactly.
kids think they Spanish. They think they Spanish,
Yeah,
man.
you
So,
from the south of the island, they from the north of the island, but y'all different people.
but that's because Spain had something to do with them. So they took on the Spanish, that proximity
Language,
thing that we talked about before. Proximity,
proximity to white people, the need for
proximity.
proximity, the need to have
Yes,
proximity
yeah. So
to white people.
they colonized by the Spanish, the white Spanish. No, I think a lot of people, and I had this conversation with my son, and he he went to school down there in Miami and whatnot, so he's got a little bit more, you know, breadth of knowledge of Spain and Spanish, and
Conquistadors.
he was saying that there is a difference between that there are white Spanish. So
Spanish or European?
you put the white Spanish on that island,
Hmm.
colonize that island, you take on some of that, you take on some of that proximity. So yeah, and then you got Haiti who, you know, through their revolution hasn't been colonized since the 1880s or something of that nature, right around that time frame. So you got black people down there. So you got black people here on this side of the island, and you got this colonized country on the colonized side of the island over here.
Hmm.
So that's a mind frame, man.
Oh, completely.
That's a mind frame.
I
So
think the most ironic part to me, if I remember the story correctly, that the president of the Dominican Republic is half Haitian, if I remember this correctly.
I don't even know.
Does it get any more of a mind fuck than that? If that is the truth, don't quote me on it. But if that actually is the truth, man, how much of a mind fuck is that?
Yeah, that just goes to show you, man. That just goes to show you, bro. But yeah, speaking of that, before we transition, guns, germs, and steel talks about that type of stuff that we just talked about. Where you said on Haiti that a lot of the land wasn't able to be utilized for what uh,
For
the soil
agriculture,
wasn't able to be used or whatever
yeah, for agriculture, right,
for agriculture,
right.
and that's one of the biggest things right there is in this book the guy was talking about through sheer luck a lot of European countries were able to use the land for agricultural means. And then what that allowed them to do is bring livestock on, which then had provide you another food source. So you don't have to, you can start storing your food and stuff like that.
Right.
So you got your normal agricultural crops, then you got your livestock. So you begin to store food. That allows you to then become very, then you can devote time to the sciences and develop uh, uh, inventions and stuff like that. You can, but if you don't have that, you're always on the search for food. So that made me think about that when you were talking about Haiti and the way the agriculture was set up over there. And then on the opposite side, you got this agricultural type thing where they probably had livestock and they were able to do those types of things. So it just makes you think, man. The luck of the draw, right?
I just think it's a well thought out and executed plan.
That as well.
Yeah, I don't recognize that luck had much to do with it. It's execution. But first you had to kill the mind. And that's why that religion, their God, was so instrumental in their colonization process.
Yeah.
I mean,
What was
they had
that Book of Eli where the guy he really wanted to get that Bible, right?
you want to get that Bible. You had to have that Bible.
He had to have that Bible, man.
He got it. It wasn't what he thought it was, but he definitely got it.
But the thought process behind it was very clear.
Oh yes.
Control the minds.
Oh yes.
Control
Oh,
the
yes.
minds. He said what he said,
Eli was the book.
he said, you gotta stop thinking about this one little piece of land right here. If we get that book, we get all the land.
All of them. Well, isn't that where the wealth is, in the land and in the people?
That's what he said. If we get that book, I can control the minds and get all the land. Stop worrying about this little piece of land. So
now, the hardest part for me in the Book of Eli, I think it was a great movie. But the hardest part to me in the Book of Eli is that he gave the book to another white man anyway.
well, he had to. Oh, you talking about in the end?
Yeah, Eli. Yeah. He was the book. He became the book. He was the book.
Yes, he was the book.
He was the Holy Grail.
In the end,
In the very end, when he was chilling with the scribe.
yeah. Well, that was for the rest of that was the
I get what it was for.
yeah.
But you put all that power in the hand of a different devil.
Yeah. I didn't even think about that at the end. I'm thinking he's recreating the book for all of mankind.
He was. That's the nobility in it.
Yeah.
He was definitely creating the book for all of mankind. You know what I mean? It kind of disturbed me that I don't remember any other black people in the movie either.
Peripheral, yeah. A couple, but not a lot. I mean, not anything that you would notice.
Peripherally.
Yeah.
You talk about me and my terminology, right?
What's that?
Peripheral.
Oh yeah.
Say it again. Peripherally.
No, just peripheral.
Oh, okay.
That's like over here.
I know what peripheral means.
I can't see you,
I
but
know
you
what
there.
peripheral means.
That's like I'm looking right here. I'm looking right here at you, but I can see Naj right there too. So
Right. He's in peripheral.
man.
In the cut. All that shit moving on the screen.
Absolutely, man.
You know what I mean?
Man, y'all got me settling down now, man.
They got world spinning. Illuminated text. Ladies and gentlemen.
I think the key point.
Elanaj is our producer. Just so you know.
Oh, yeah.
I let my guy if you want some dope production.
Very well respected.
Right. Shameless plug there, bro.
Appreciate that.
Yes, you just became my favorite producer too. How about that?
Word. I take that.
Yeah, we just sitting here running out of miles, man.
Right.
I think the key point for me tonight was when Nas dropped the bomb.
Song?
That stopped me in my stance, man, because that is real.
Song?
It's almost like a movie.
Oh, it is.
The whole production of the song and the artistry, the visuals, all of that. It stopped me in my just.
It's a hip hop-mentary. How about that?
Wow.
How about that?
I like that.
A hip hop-mentary.
Stop me in my stance, man.
Yeah. It's my guy. Kid got talent, man.
Absolutely.
That boy got talent.
I gotta get one of your pieces too, Naj. I was on your site. I was looking at your jewelry.
Oh, word. That's definitely what's up.
Yeah,
I'm finally got here, son.
Oh, your piece came?
It finally got here, yeah.
Oh, word. All right. That's what's up. What you think?
Much love. Much love.
Word.
I want the chain to be a little longer, but I'll take care of that. Don't worry about that.
I know you will.
Yeah, you already know.
I was looking
vision, son.
I was looking at one that had a stone in it.
Son. You already know that shit, dude.
It was right here. The one you got with the stone that's like sitting right here. That's
me?
Well, it's sitting right here. You got one on your page. You got it's a nice stone. I'm trying to. It's almost like a white stone.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have to look at it again, man. I'm gonna have to cop that from you.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually got some quartz, man. I want you to make a pendant for me too, man.
Word.
Yeah.
The chain.
I want to be Akashic one day, man. I just want to be straight Akashic one day, bro.
Word. That's dope.
Yeah, I mean, matter of fact, next time I come on here, I'm gonna be Akashic. I'm gonna retire my aunt for a few episodes.
Word.
And just be Akashic.
That's about to be crazy.
Or as I used to call it, AKA Chic.
Right.
That's what's up. Yeah, I'm
right.
I'm getting tired on y'all, man. My brain is like empty right now.
That's cool. I got notes.
Yeah, we had a nice run.
We had a nice run. Well, hold on. We ain't talking about Mark Anthony.
Look at you trying to bring up all this other stuff, man.
You know what I mean?
We got the picture. It's all blurry and bloody.
Because I was at this joint, like, after our conversation, I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait, I ain't
all I picture, like really what I picture as I looked, like I said, I took a little notes, man. I'm looking at them now. For each one of these settlements, if that's what we're gonna call them,
okay.
All I see is stacked bodies.
Stacked bodies, bro. Yo, that thing.
And you know, back in those days, man, they put you in a ditch and they burned you, man.
So let me just read this real quick. Right. Economic policies were adopted by Europeans who destroyed the colonies. Rather than them, rather than help them, Africa was damaged economically, politically, and culturally. Their traditional lifestyles were destroyed. Europeans had no interest in the traditional African culture and no concern for the Africans. So even when
Sounds
they came
accurate.
in there, even when they came in there and destroyed the colonies, man, they still had no regard for the inhabitants.
Nah, I want your resources. I don't want nothing else but your resources. That's it. And your women.
Gotta get the women.
The resources and your women. That's what I need. We're burning everything down. And if I can't have it, we're really gonna burn it down. So nobody can have it. But we're gonna take your women though.
Well, you seen that in the clip of Sankofa. Now, see the ironic thing about that, right? When that movie comes on, she's not a slave. She's a model, and she's over there being photographed by a white dude in the slave fortress in Ghana. The elder comes in and checks her, and she gets all spooked out behind the white dude. Then she runs off down this corridor into this room. You know, I guess it was a room where they held the slaves at one time, and everything shut and closed in. It was complete darkness. And when everything opened back up, she had she went into a time portal. She came back out as a slave, and she kept running around talking about, "I'm not like them. I'm not like them." In her head, that's what she was saying, but she was speaking the native tongue to the white mom, to the white motherfucker. She was speaking the native tongue, so they was like, "Shut up, anything." You know what I mean? And she went on, had to live this existence as a slave. She had to have that experience. There was some like mystical, spooky type of undertone to that storyline, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to peep that out. I think
Yes,
I got a long weekend. I got Monday off.
we all do. What you mean you got it, man? It's a good Dr. Reverend birthday.
Okay, man. I didn't know. I know
I ain't doing shit
like,
for
bro.
Martin Luther.
You know what I mean? I know I'm taking Monday off.
I ain't doing shit on Martin Luther the King's birthday.
I know I'm taking it off. I don't know what your schedule is. I'm gonna peep it out this week. You said be ready. So okay, what I'll do is I'll mute some of my senses. I have a drink or something.
It's not really that type of joint though. Like, I mean, it's more informational than it is graphic.
Okay. Well, I'll still mute my
And I
senses.
think that's why they pulled it. Would you agree,
Settle down and just peep it. Like I said, I've learned.
Why they pulled?
I think that's the reason why they pulled it. Actually, because it was actually more like a informational piece than it was like a graphic piece.
Okay. Okay.
Would you agree with that?
Saying you talking about Sankofa?
Yeah.
They chopped up the white man. That's the difference between Sankofa and every other slave movie,
Right.
including the Nat Turner joint. You know what I mean? They ain't the Nat Turner joint. You know Nat Turner's reputation in that Turner joint. They ain't chop up not one white man in that joint. That's why that was able to fly. They attacked the boy just for bringing up the name Nat Turner, but they damn sure wasn't killing no white folks. Sankofa chopped up white folks.
Well, that's what I'm
Not
saying.
only did they
more
chop up,
informational than it was graphic.
yeah, exactly.
Right,
They
peep it out.
they strategized. They took their time. You know what I'm saying? They took the humiliation knowing they was still planning and plotting. And then in the end, they took that.
Baruka.
Yeah, all of that. You know
Right.
what I mean? So they was trying to poison white folks, slip poison in their food, all that. So,
Yeah, they was into some shit.
It wasn't going to last too long in the movie
You
theater.
said it was a 2-week window before they pulled it, huh?
Wasn't no white heroes.
About that. It stayed in the theaters about 2 weeks.
Wasn't no white heroes in that joint.
None. Zero. Zilch. when he killed the priest, man, I was like, yo, I think I jumped off the couch, man. never seen such engaging cinema before.
Yeah, I can imagine you watching that.
What?
I can imagine.
Who put me on that, man?
Yeah, I'm gonna have to peep that out, man. Absolutely, man. I'm normally up on movies like that. I had to peep that out.
Another good one, man, is Goodbye Uncle Tom's Cabin. That was dope too.
That's another one I ain't seen. I'm gonna have to check that too.
And that joint is like educational. They ain't pull no punches in that joint at all.
Man, that's where before we roll out tonight, man. That's where we at with this, man. I'm
Yeah.
not pulling no punches with nobody no
Yeah.
more, man.
Right. So back to my statement too. Like I always thought that those type of flicks were essential
Yeah,
because you can't never cheat yourself of understanding the nature of the beast.
yeah. Like I
You know what I
said,
mean? And I think somewhere in there, man, like we just got so watered down and we got so assimilated to where stuff like that just ceased to matter to black folks. Like, why you bring that old shit up? Nobody want to see that shit. You need to see
yeah.
this shit.
I see the feedback you get sometimes when you make your posts,
Yeah,
and it's similar. It's really a microcosm of our communities, man.
self reflection.
Some people just want to, man. Listen, man. I want to get this money.
Shmoney.
I want to
Everything
get
about the shmoney.
You know what I mean? So you come around talking about, hey man, why you treating your sister like that?
Oh man, don't do that.
Or whatever. Something that relates to community. And it's like, this ain't none of your business, man. Or yes, it is, man. You can't do that around me, bro.
Right,
You know what I mean?
right. My man just got murdered for that shit, man. That's
So,
crazy.
but yeah, it's a microcosm of our community, man. We tell people to mind their business.
And
We
or
tell,
we make
huh?
as an and or we make excuses for every damn thing. There's a reason. There's a reason why everything was done. No matter how
We just got to
inadequate,
take ownership. That's all. Take a little bit more
right? No
ownership.
matter how inadequate,
That's all.
base even the excuse is, you can always get a fucking excuse.
No, I'm not gonna sit here and start saying bad things. I'm gonna just say we've been in this, like we said earlier. This ain't nothing new, man. We've been, if you listen to Malcolm, man, and as I said earlier, I wish our elders, our ancestors were a little bit more forthright with us and just told us some of their stories, prepare us for this. Just prepare us. They were still surviving though. You know what I mean? Surviving.
But yeah, I think that they began to cater to the narrative that they could escape it that way. That hard work would let you
Survive.
escape it. And I'm like, I was always like, what the fuck was harder work than slavery, man? You know, can
Well,
you work any harder than that?
psychological programming and all this stuff.
Yeah, like,
Only thing they told us, man, that still stands with me is you gotta work twice as hard. Never told us why.
right.
Just told because you're black.
Or never gave us a tangible structure to put all that hard work, the benefits of all that hard work
Yeah.
into. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
So
Go to
as
church,
much as time as I got,
work hard and
I
love the
start
Lord.
lifting again too, man. Before I get off, man, I start lifting again, man. This COVID knocked me to knocked me out, man. So I'm getting back, man. I'm trying to get a little bit of this arms and shoulders and just get it back. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I'm
Because
kind of shitty right now too, bro.
listen, man, this
I'm kind of
COVID
shitty
knocked
right now.
everybody out, man. So I'm
Yeah,
just trying to get it back because I'm trying to whatever time I got left, man. I'm trying to make sure I can move around. So I
Hey,
can
nah, brother,
do
say
some
that
of these
again,
things.
man. Listen, man, I cut my toenails last night, right? And when I
Man,
tried to straighten up, brother, whoo!
listen, if you make a mistake by you doing that, you fuck around, take a couple days off. Cut wrong, you out. So,
Them joints is hacked up, man. When I tried to stand up, I was like, what the?
oh yeah, if you ain't doing it right by yourself, man. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm just trying to make sure I'm in the best shape I can, man, while I'm here.
Hey, Dred, that sound like a challenge to me, man. It sound like he challenging me, man. It sound like he coming after me, Dred.
I ain't coming after nobody, man. I'm trying to extend my physical well-being, man, to the point. And it's not on no. When we was younger, man, we was into that whatever you just did with this arm stuff. We was into that when we was young.
I said my joints look bad, man.
What is that, man?
My joints look bad. I'm saying my shit look bad.
We don't even do that no more, man. We old, man.
I ain't old, bro. I ain't old.
Yeah, here you
told you. As per our last conversation, I got a couple things on my bucket list, bro.
Oh, I still got some too, man. But I'm listen. What's the definition before we go? What's the definition of middle age, man?
I don't think
you middle age, bro.
55, I think. We got a couple.
Oh man, middle age, man. You are middle age, man.
I thought it was 55. It ain't 55.
No, bro.
I take it. I take middle age.
Middle age, man. So we ain't no young whippersnappers, man. Fall back on your wisdom, man.
Absolutely.
So,
listen, I currently have 135 pounds on my bench. How's that for falling back?
Absolutely.
I'm gonna rep that shit out. You understand? I ain't heard nothing, bro. I mean, gotta get my man L back down there with me. You might have used to go down, Dred. You ready?
Yeah. We gotta definitely do what we can. Check this out. I wanna going off of your backdrop that you got there. I wanna bounce off of that.
I figured as much.
Tupac had a memorial. He had a museum down in Atlanta that his mom had built after his passing. It was a statue that was erected. And a lot of people didn't understand the statue, but, having crossed paths with Afeni, I understood that her intent was to make a statue that showed Tupac as a middle-aged or older man because he was killed at such a young age. So the statue shows an older version of Tupac. A lot of people thought that it was just the artist did a bad job, but they didn't realize that it was intentions behind it. And I had the opportunity. I invited hundreds and hundreds, countless artists from all over the country came to Atlanta to this event that I worked with, and we took them over to the Tupac Museum and just had a moment of prayer, a moment of silence. It was just an amazing experience, an amazing exchange. And on that day, I had the opportunity to read Tupac's last prayer, "The Streets." It was influenced by Mutulu Shakur, one of his visits to Mutulu Shakur, in the picture behind you. And it was just a very powerful speech that Tupac put together that a lot of people don't know about. I'll share that in closing tonight. You know what I mean? Get your thoughts, and then we can head out. I know you said you was winding down, so I'll share this, and then tell me what you think. You can see this?
You said, but we can't hear you, bro.
That, okay, maybe I should let Pac do the talking. You know what I'm saying? I came across something years ago which Pac left for us that a lot of people just don't know about. I looked for it on the internet, I couldn't find it. I looked for it everywhere, I couldn't find it. So I had to figure out where I left it at. I figured out where I left it at, went and grabbed it, and it was Tupac's last prayer to the streets. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna start with that. This is called The Code of the Thug Life. And he wrote this inspired by Ratul Shakur. Alright? Pac said, someone must dare to put the street life back on track. It's clear to anybody that can see that the hustling game has gone stark raving mad. The short and long range result will not only be detrimental to the street game, but will also destroy any foundation in our community. But more important, the combination of self-destruction and turf warfare, coupled with the government's police terrorism, fascist laws designed to capture and keep our black men and women in jail for the rest of their lives and leaves a defenseless community, will result in our genocide. For as long as the street game, the hustle game has existed in our community, which is the result of many factors and will only be resolved through our liberation. The dynamics of struggle between the do-gooders and the thugs has kept a consistent battle for balance in our community, which at least was under control. The game today as it exists is a complete violation of the code. Historically, the street hustler was hip to the enemy and would never work in the government's interest to destroy their own life. Let me stop right there. Rick Ross has a quote in this song right now that says, I'm selling dope on my iPhone. I'm gonna let y'all take a moment to think about that in relation to what Pac just said. Historically, the street hustler was hip to the enemy and would never work in the government's interest to destroy their own people. The thug life is a tool of the enemy as it exists today. It must change. Outside forces and methods whose interests are being served by the hustlers, the crew have no dignity. They have no honor, and this must be corrected. It's up to y'all to correct that, man. A council must be called to put a code to the thug life. We accept that the game will go on until our liberation. What we won't accept is that the game will destroy us from within before we get another chance to rumble and rebuild. If you ready to rumble and you ready to rebuild, put your hand in the air, man. The forces in an attempt to put the game back on track and work in the interest of the community and to resist the strategy of the government. They have begun setting down a platform for the street game in full effect. We praise their efforts. The code of the thug life must become a part of us on the East Coast as well. There must be a common denominator. The original gangsters behind the walls of the dungeon will take some responsibility to put in force to the council and the code. We must act now. The code of the thug life will save us to fight another day. If we don't, we assed out. Words from Tupac Shakur.
Yeah, I actually reposted that.
Say it again.
So I actually reposted that.
A word.
I think I reposted it to our channel, B.L.A.M TV.
Powerful, man.
That was, yeah.
Powerful.
Yeah, it's interesting because in Tupac's last words, he talked about thug life concept being used as a weapon against us as a people, and it has to be put in check.
I remember one of Tupac's last interviews, man, before he got X'd out, man. And one of the things the good brother said was that, I can't remember the exact year he said, but he said, 4 years past whatever it was, he wanted to be sitting across the table from the next presidential candidate. Soon after
I heard that.
Soon after that, my man got chopped. Just to let the people know the grandiose ideas that he had, man, that he was trying to bring into fruition. You know what I mean? And we wound up with Kanye. Ain't that a kick in the nuts? And these nuts, speaking of that. We wound up with Kanye and these nuts. And we could have had Pop.
The one look at Snoop now, man. He's a character. So
I have no comment on Snoop.
I don't have no problem with Snoop, but he ain't.
I have no comment. I got a couple problems with Snoop, but I'm gonna reserve my comments for another.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah, that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, we won't never get off here.
All right, so next week we banging on rappers. Next week.
Well,
next
if we're gonna do that, I gotta get that clip of Charleston White.
Yeah, bring all that. Next week, let's have an honest conversation about hip hop and the influence that it has on our people, in our community, for better or for worse.
So, are we genre based, or we just wide open with it?
I mean, it's always best to be wide open with it, but I specifically want to talk about, from my perspective, I feel like a lot of people that we glorify have actually committed treason against us as a people.
That we
glorify? They continue. Huh?
That we glorify?
Well, I'm talking about.
I know you're speaking in third person, brother.
Right.
Talking about the masses.
Mm-hmm.
I got you.
Yeah, you're talking about the masses.
But again, that it actually is right in line with the theme of the night, colonialism, man.
That's could be hype.
Because they actually are put in a position to propagate a certain message. You know what I'm saying? So we not glorifying them, man. They've been forced on us.
I look forward to that, man.
But yeah, you already know, son.
Yes,
we ain't talking about B.L.A.M this time, bro.
We can't have a conversation without talking about B.L.A.M.
Not again. B.L.A.M and Umar, boy, I tell you. Maybe they need to get together and do something. Can't leave Polite out of there either. Because he got all them stacks and shit.
Those are some I don't know how you guys feel about them. Those yeah, we can definitely weave that in next week.
All right, so
I remember Umar when he first started, man. He's nothing like that guy.
Right. I remember from his very first interview.
Yeah, I remember him doing the meeting in the library. That's the Umar that I like. This guy now is a caricature, man. He's a comedian. He's everything but what I first was introduced to. So
yeah. So next week we banging on all that.
Let's do it. I can't wait, man.
Head chopping season next week.
Yeah. or if your position might be you defending them. You know what I mean? You might be defending some of that. So
hey, listen, this might get. Hey, he's got a group of people that go to war for him. So we might get some tracks. I'm gonna have to put this out.
Man, fuck them niggas, man. You know how we do, Dre.
I'm just saying we gonna put this out, man. Some traction, man. Cause he got some fans, man.
That's all right. So, we ready to get some. We ready to take his fucking fans.
All right. Well, I'm just saying I'm gonna publicize it because we gonna go hard.
Let's go. That's what we do.
I'm ready.
Right, I'm coming prepared. So
yeah, I'm gonna do some stuff too. I'm gonna look up some stuff.
Ready.
Next week we banging.
Yes, sir.
All right, so look, I like this time. I actually like this window, Thursday at 8. I think this is, I'm gonna pay attention to the energy been moving. I think this will work for us if it works for y'all.
Okay, Thursday is fine.
Thursday at 8. Thursday or Wednesday at 8. I'm confused.
Thursday at 8.
Thursday. Yeah, I think it's a better window than Wednesday, to be honest with you.
Yeah, we give you an extra day to get your stuff together, man.
Right.
Oh, I'm good now, man. I don't know what the fuck is going on, man. Like somebody after me, man. All this shit be working till it's time to go on. Then I'll be having all kind of issues, man. That means we doing something really, really, really big.
Yeah, how about that?
So listen, let's since we doing this live now, make sure y'all let y'all people know so they know ahead of time.
That's what Thursday I'm saying. Start publicizing it. Put it out there.
Thursday at 8, yeah. Start publicizing it based on the time, the date, and the subject matter.
Yes, sir.
Thursdays at 8. Got you, my guy.
Yeah, I'm gonna start publicizing it, man.
Right.
So next Thursday is banging season.
Yes, sir. Matter of fact, man, y'all gonna I'm gonna bring out my I'll share that when next week. Y'all gonna kick out of it.
All right.
Accountability.
Yes, sir.
Accountability.
All right, so I'll holler at y'all next week, yo. It's been good.
Yes, sir. All right.
I'm about to do my thing now so I can go to sleep.
Peace, fellas.
No doubt.